Welcome back to Curio Flow Show. Yeah, where curiosity kind of leads the way. Today, we're diving deep into AI and banking, but forget those boring like calculators and spreadsheets. We're talking like algorithms making big decisions in milliseconds, and robots, handling your money. Get ready to be surprised. You guys sent in a ton of articles from McKinsey, IBM, and even the Financial Express. And let me tell you, see, this isn't just some like futuristic fantasy. AI is already changing like the whole game in finance. From like personalized financial advice to like super fast fraud detection, it's a total revolution. And it's happening right now, like under our noses. To help us navigate all this, we have an AI expert joining us today. Okay, so let's unpack this whole AI thing, right? One of the articles mentioned this bank, First Day Bank in Austria, using AI to create a tool that gives like personalized financial advice to all its customers. It's like imagine having a personal financial advisor like in your pocket. What I found really cool about this is how it like levels the playing field. It's bringing this service that was usually just for like the wealthy to like everyone. It's like AI is saying, hey, managing your finances shouldn't be a luxury.
What's really exciting is how this tech is like breaking down barriers. Think about it. You don't need, a high net worth to get like tailored financial guidance. This kind of access, it's a total game changer, especially for, younger generations and those who haven't had access to these services.
Totally. It's almost like AI is, playing Robin Hood.
Yeah.
But like instead of stealing from the rich, it's giving financial knowledge to everyone. Speaking of giving, another article talked about how AI is being used to detect fraud in real time. Like, can you imagine AI going through like millions of transactions every second to catch those sneaky, fraudulent ones? It makes you wonder how'd they ever catch anything before AI?
It's mind-boggling how much data AI can process. It's like, having an army of detectives, like scanning every single transaction. And because AI can spot patterns that, we might miss, it's really boosting the security of our financial systems.
I'm feeling way safer about like online banking now. But here's a question. If AI is looking at all our transactions, could it like predict our spending habits? Imagine your bank knows you're going to splurge on that new gadget, before you even do.
That's a great question, and it brings up some important points about privacy and data security. While AI can, identify spending trends, its use is governed by strict regulations. It's not about like Big Brother watching every purchase. It's about, using data responsibly to make things more secure and personalize those services.
Okay, good to know my online shopping is still my little secret. But speaking of secrets, one article highlighted how banks are seeing huge productivity gains with AI. We're talking millions of dollars, like additional revenue per employee. That's some serious financial wizardry.
It's not magic, it's automation. AI is taking over all those boring, repetitive tasks, and that frees up employees to focus on, more complex and strategic work. This means faster processing times, fewer errors, and ultimately a more efficient banking system.
So AI is like the ultimate multitasker. It's like having this super efficient assistant handling all the boring stuff while the humans focus on the big picture, right? Now, here's a curious thought. If AI is this powerful now, what's next? Are we going to have like flying robot tellers delivering cash to our doors?
Maybe not flying robots, but the possibilities are, expanding. We're seeing these like chat bots powered by generative AI, and they can provide these like incredibly human-like interactions. They're not just like answering basic questions anymore. They're actually helping people with stuff like, opening accounts and even applying for loans.
Hold on. So you're saying we could soon be having like full conversations with AI about our money? Is it going to start offering me investment tips?
Yeah.
And like judging my spending habits? Should I start practicing my small talk with Siri?
Well, it's not quite ready to like give financial advice or judge you yet. But, the way it's evolving, who knows? These AI assistants are getting super sophisticated, learning from every interaction and like adapting to individual needs. Imagine your bank like understands your financial goals, as well as you do. And it can give you like personalized guidance every step of the way.
Okay, that's like amazing and a little creepy. It's like having a financial advisor that like lives in your phone and knows everything about you. I need a minute to process this. But while I do, let's talk about something like a bit more tangible. Those chatbots we keep hearing about, like remember Erica from Bank of America? She's had like over 2 billion interactions with customers. That's more conversations than I've had in my whole life.
And it's just the beginning. Generative AI keeps advancing, so these chatbots are getting even more personalized and human-like, and they can handle like way more complex requests. They're basically the new face of customer service, available 24/7 to answer all your questions instantly.
So no more waiting on hold forever, listening to that like terrible elevator music. That's a huge win in my book. But here's another one. If these chatbots are getting so smart, could they like replace human bank tellers? Will we all be banking with robots in the future?
That's a question that's causing a lot of debate. It's true, AI is automating so many tasks, that humans used to do, but it's unlikely to completely replace like the human touch. Banking's about trust and relationships, right? And people still really value that personal connection, especially when it comes to their money.
Makes sense. I mean, who wants to like share their financial problems with a robot? Sometimes you just need a human to talk to, even if it's just to complain about those pesky bank fees. Speaking of fees, one article mentioned how AI could lead to lower costs and, better services for us, the customers. Is this like banking utopia?
It's definitely possible. As AI, streamlines operations and increases efficiency, banks can actually pass those savings on to customers, like lower fees, better rates. And with that AI-powered personalization, services can be tailored to each person's needs. That leads to, a more satisfying customer experience.
Sounds pretty good to me. But here's a thought. If AI is so good at managing money, could it help us make better financial decisions? Like, imagine a budgeting app that not only tracks your spending, but also gives you, like, personalized advice on how to save and invest.
That's a really cool idea, and some fintech companies are already exploring it. AI has this huge potential to empower us financially by giving us insights and recommendations, based on our spending habits and our financial goals.
Well, it's like having a financial guru right there in your phone. I'm starting to think AI could be the answer to all my money problems. But before I get carried away, let's switch gears a little and dive into some of the technical stuff behind all this AI magic.
It's not magic, but sometimes it feels like it. One area where AI is really shaking things up is credit scoring. Traditionally, it's been based on, limited data, which can lead to some unfair exclusions. But with AI, banks can now look at tons of data, even things like your utility bill payments, to get a much more complete picture of your creditworthiness.
Hold on. So my Netflix subscription could actually help me get a loan. That's kind of amazing and a little scary.
Yeah.
But seriously, this could be huge for people who have been unfairly shut out of the financial system because they don't have a long credit history. It's like AI is giving everyone a fair chance at success.
Exactly. By looking at a wider range of data, AI can really help level the playing field and open up opportunities for those who might have been overlooked by those, traditional methods. It's all about creating a more inclusive and equitable financial system.
I love that idea. But here's a question that's been bugging me. If AI is looking at all this data, how do we know it's not going to be biased? I mean, algorithms are made by humans, and humans can be, well, let's just say less than perfect.
That's a really important point, and it's something that developers are very aware of. They're constantly working to make sure these algorithms are fair and unbiased. There are rigorous testing and validation processes to ensure that AI systems are making decisions based on objective data and not, perpetuating existing biases.
Okay, that's reassuring. I guess teaching AI to be a better human, at least when it comes to making fair decisions. Now let's talk about something that sounds straight out of a sci-fi movie, algorithmic trading. I'm picturing robots on Wall Street frantically buying and selling stocks at lightning speed. Is this really happening?
It's not quite robots in suits, but the reality is even more impressive. Algorithmic trading uses these super sophisticated programs that analyze massive amounts of data, identify patterns, and then execute trades with incredible speed and precision. It's really revolutionizing how financial institutions manage risk and, invest.
So it's like having a superpowered stockbroker who never sleeps and can make decisions in a fraction of a second. Sign me up. But seriously, this level of automation sounds a bit risky. What happens if these algorithms go haywire and start making crazy trades?
That's a valid concern, and that's why risk management is a top priority in algorithmic trading. These systems are designed with multiple safeguards and are constantly being monitored by human experts. Plus, regulators are keeping a very close eye on this technology to make sure the market stays stable and to prevent any potential, meltdowns.
That makes sense. I guess even with AI, you can't completely eliminate human oversight. Now let's talk about something that's been making headlines lately. Generative AI. It's not just analyzing data. It's actually creating new content like text, images, even code. What in the world is this sorcery and how is it changing banking?
Generative AI is the creative genius of the AI world. In banking, it's being used to create these realistic simulations for stress testing. Financial models generate personalized marketing content and even power those increasingly sophisticated chatbots we talked about earlier. It's like having a whole team of creative experts who can produce high-quality content on demand.
So AI is now a writer, a graphic designer, and a coder. Is there anything it can't do? This is mind-blowing. But speaking of blowing things up, what about the potential for misuse? Could someone use generative AI to create like fake news about a bank or even manipulate financial markets?
Those are very real concerns, and they highlight how important those ethical considerations are in AI development.
Yeah.
Researchers are actively working on ways to detect and mitigate potential misuse, like developing systems that can identify deepfakes and other forms of AI-generated deception.
Okay, so it's like this constant race between the good guys and the bad guys, with AI as like the ultimate weapon. But let's not get too dystopian here. I want to get back to something you mentioned earlier about AI making banking more inclusive. Can you give me some concrete examples of how this is actually happening?
Sure. One great example is the rise of these AI-powered micro-lending platforms. These platforms use alternative data sources to assess creditworthiness, allowing individuals who might not have a traditional credit history to access loans. This can be a game changer for small business owners, entrepreneurs, and those who are underserved by those, traditional banking systems.
It's like AI is saying, hey, everyone deserves a chance regardless of their background or credit score. I love that. But here's another curiosity bite. If AI can help people access financial services, could it also play a role in financial literacy and education? I'm imagining an AI-powered tutor that teaches you about budgeting, investing, and all those other things that make my head spin.
That's a fantastic idea, and it's already happening. There are several AI-powered apps and platforms designed to educate users about personal finance in a fun and engaging way. They can give you personalized tips, answer your questions, and even simulate different financial scenarios to help you make informed decisions.
So it's like having your own personal finance coach available 24/7. Maybe this AI thing isn't so bad after all. But let's get real for a second. All this talk about AI is great, but what about the impact on jobs? Are robots going to take over the entire banking industry and leave us all unemployed?
It's a valid concern and one that's being discussed a lot, but the reality is likely to be more nuanced. While AI will certainly automate some tasks that are currently done by humans, it will also create new opportunities and reshape existing roles.
So it's not a question of humans versus robots, but rather humans and robots working together.
Yeah.
Kind of like a financial power couple.
Exactly. The key is to adapt and embrace lifelong learning. We need to focus on developing skills that complement AI, like creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence. These are the areas where humans will continue to excel even as AI takes on more routine tasks.
So it's not about fearing the robot takeover, but about learning how to dance with the robots. I can dig that. But here's another question that's been swirling in my brain. If AI is becoming so powerful, who's making sure it doesn't go rogue? What's being done to regulate this technology and ensure it's used ethically and responsibly?
That's where governments and regulatory bodies come in. They're working hard to develop frameworks and guidelines for AI development and deployment, particularly in sensitive areas like finance. The goal is to strike a balance between fostering innovation and protecting the public interest.
It's like setting boundaries for the AI playground, making sure everyone plays fair and doesn't break anything. But with technology evolving so rapidly, how can regulations keep up? It's like trying to hit a moving target.
It's definitely a challenge. But regulators are working closely with industry experts and researchers to stay ahead of the curve. They're also learning from other countries and sharing best practices to create a more harmonized approach to AI governance.
Okay, so it's like a global game of AI chess, with everyone trying to make the right move to ensure a positive outcome. Now let's zoom out and talk about the bigger picture. How is AI in banking shaping the future of finance as a whole? Is it going to be all sunshine and rainbows, or are we headed for a financial apocalypse?
It's unlikely to be either. Extreme AI is fundamentally changing the financial landscape, driving efficiency, innovation, and accessibility. We're seeing the emergence of new business models, personalized financial products, and a more interconnected global financial system.
Sounds pretty exciting. But what about the potential risks? Could AI lead to greater financial instability or exacerbate existing inequalities?
Those are valid concerns, and it's important to address them proactively. AI development needs to be guided by ethical considerations, focusing on fairness, transparency, and accountability. We also need to ensure that AI benefits all members of society, not just a select few.
It's like creating a financial system that's not only efficient, but also equitable and sustainable. Now let's shift gears and talk about something that sounds a bit more futuristic: decentralized finance, or DeFi. It leverages blockchain technology and AI to create a more open and transparent financial system. Is this the future of banking?
DeFi is definitely shaking things up and has the potential to disrupt traditional financial systems. It's all about creating a more decentralized and accessible financial ecosystem where individuals have greater control over their assets and transactions.
Wait, so you're telling me that AI and blockchain could potentially create a world where we don't need banks anymore? Is this the financial revolution everyone's been talking about?
It's certainly a paradigm shift. While it's too early to say whether DeFi will completely replace traditional banking, it's definitely a force to be reckoned with. It's all about empowering individuals and creating a more inclusive and transparent financial system.
Okay, that's both exciting and a little bit terrifying. It's like the Wild West of finance with AI and blockchain as the new sheriffs in town.
Yeah.
But before we get too lost in the future, let's bring it back to the present. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, but I want to leave our listeners with one final question. What's the one thing you wish everyone understood about AI in banking?
That's a great question. I think the most important thing to understand is that AI is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. It's up to us as a society to ensure that AI is developed and deployed in a way that benefits everyone. We need to have open and honest conversations about the potential risks and benefits, and we need to work together to shape a future where AI empowers us all.
Well said. It's like we're all on this AI journey together, and it's up to us to decide where it takes us. Now, that's a thought to ponder as we head into the final part of our deep dive, where we'll explore some potential future scenarios for AI in banking and discuss what steps we could take to ensure a positive and equitable outcome. Join us in part 3, where we'll continue to unravel the mysteries and possibilities of AI in the world of finance. Welcome back to Curio Flow Show for the final part of our deep dive into AI in banking. We've talked about all the amazing stuff AI can do, the potential, pitfalls and the big questions about how to reshape the world of finance. Now it's time to put on our futuristic goggles and imagine what the future of banking could really look like. So let's fire up those imagination engines and explore some, possible scenarios for AI in banking. And of course, we'll talk about how to make sure this tech actually empowers us, all of us. First, let's imagine a world where AI is totally normal in banking. What would that even look like for us, everyday folks?
Okay, picture this. You're packing for a weekend trip and your bank sends you a notification. It says, hey, looks like you're headed to the beach. We've set aside some spending money and, adjusted your budget. AI could analyze your spending patterns, predict what you need, and even help you avoid those dreaded overdraft fees.
That's like having a personal finance ninja, always a step ahead. No more frantic calculations when you're checking out.
Exactly. And AI could make opening a bank account as easy as ordering takeout. Imagine verifying your identity and getting approved for a loan instantly, all through this seamless AI-powered process.
So no more mountains of paperwork or waiting in line forever. That sounds amazing. But we got to think about the folks who aren't, super tech savvy. Could AI make banking more accessible for everyone?
Totally. AI-powered financial literacy tools could give people personalized guidance and education in plain language. Imagine interactive tutorials that explain, complicated financial concepts and actually empower people to make smart decisions about their money.
It's like having a financial translator, right? Breaking down all those confusing terms and strategies. Because everyone deserves access to the tools and, the knowledge they need to really thrive financially.
Absolutely. AI has that potential to bridge that financial literacy gap and empower everyone to take control of their, financial well-being.
Okay, so we've got personalized banking, instant approvals, and financial education, right, at our fingertips. But what about the other side of the coin? What are some potential risks we should watch out for as AI gets, smarter and smarter?
One concern is that these AI systems could make mistakes or be manipulated. What if an algorithm messes up your credit score or a hacker takes over your AI assistant?
That's kind of scary. It's like putting all your trust in a supercomputer and hoping it doesn't have a bad day.
Exactly. That's why we need really strong security measures and regulatory oversight. We got to make sure those AI systems are resilient, transparent, and, accountable.
It's like building a financial fortress with layers of protection and constant vigilance. Right? But even with the best security, what about, AI being biased? Could it discriminate against certain groups?
That's a really big issue, and it's something that, researchers and developers are actively trying to fix. AI systems need to be trained on diverse data and checked regularly for fairness. That way we can prevent any unintentional bias.
So it's like teaching AI to be fair, even if the data it learns from isn't, perfect. We got to make sure it doesn't like pick up our bad habits.
Exactly. We need AI in banking to create more opportunities, not like make existing inequalities worse.
Okay, so we've talked about AI going rogue or being biased. But the big question on everyone's mind, what about jobs? Are robots going to take over all the banking jobs?
It's a valid worry, but I think AI will actually help humans, not replace us entirely. Think of it as a team effort. AI handles the repetitive stuff, and humans focus on, the complex problems and interacting with customers.
So it's not humans versus robots, it's humans and robots, like working together, like a financial dream team.
Right. The important thing is to keep learning and adapting. We need to develop skills that work well with AI, like creativity, critical thinking, and, emotional intelligence. Those are things that humans are like really good at, even as AI takes on those more routine tasks.
So it's not about like being scared of robots taking over, it's about learning to work with them. I can get behind that. But here's another thing. If AI is getting so powerful, who's making sure it doesn't, go off the rails? What's being done to like regulate this technology and make sure it's used ethically?
That's where, governments and regulatory bodies come in. They're creating like frameworks and guidelines for AI development, especially in important areas like finance. The goal is to balance innovation with, protecting everyone.
It's like setting the rules for AI and banking, right? Making sure everyone plays fair and the whole system stays stable. But tech moves so fast, how can regulations even keep up? It's like trying to hit a moving target.
It's definitely a challenge, but regulators are working with like industry experts and researchers to stay ahead of the game. They're also learning from each other, sharing what works to create a more like unified approach.
Okay, so it's like a global AI task force working together to like figure out this new territory.
Yeah.
Now let's take one last leap into the future. Imagine AI is so advanced, it can like predict and prevent financial crises. Is that even possible?
It's definitely a huge goal, but AI could completely change, risk management and early warning systems. Imagine AI algorithms constantly checking the markets, spotting potential problems, and warning everyone before, like, a crisis even starts.
That's like having a financial superhero constantly on the lookout for trouble. But wouldn't that give AI like a ton of power? What if it makes a mistake or someone uses it for, bad stuff?
That's exactly why human oversight and ethics are so important. We need to make sure these AI systems are transparent, accountable, and, aligned with what we believe in as humans.
So it's not about giving AI control over everything. It's about using it to help us make better decisions and create a more stable financial system.
Exactly. AI has the potential to really improve finance, but it's up to us to, guide it and make sure it's used ethically.
Well said. We've covered a lot in this deep dive, from personalized banking to the potential risks to the role of government in shaping, the future of AI. It's clear that AI is like transforming finance, and it's up to all of us to navigate this new frontier with, curiosity and a commitment to building a better future. Thanks for joining us on this amazing journey into the world of AI and banking. We hope you've learned some cool stuff and, maybe even feel a little inspired. Remember, the future of finance isn't set in stone. It's something we create together. So let's keep asking questions, exploring possibilities, and shaping a future where AI benefits everyone. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and never stop diving deep into the world around you.